What's going on, everyone? Trust the buzz here. If you're new to the channel, I make Charlotte Hornets content, so if that interests you, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. If you cannot tell by the thumbnail and title of this video, we talking about Moussa getting down. They're calling it the Jive at the Hive. I think that's the only name I've seen. But either way, I just want to show what happened. But I really just want to talk about what this game means as far as like for the Hornets and going forward. I actually don't want to spend too much time necessarily on the scuffle. More so, I want to spend time on kind of what that shows me as a fan of this team, and obviously as someone who's been a fan of this team. I think it's much more than that, but of course, like all the stuff is going to be talking about the fight. So I do want to show that to give context, but I want to talk about the game actually as a whole. So as you know, Moussa and Duren I don't think they like each other, and Jalen Duren doesn't like the Hornets either. I don't think he as a team. He does not. We all know like the draft night stuff. So, for context, is what's funny is everybody loves to be like if you see random videos on the internet, they're like, oh, what's the context? What's the context? And here they're quickly to be like, well, Moussa fouled him hard, which he did. Like that. If you want to talk about what technically led up to the scuffle, like the actions right before, it was the hard foul on Jalen Duren by Moussa. Was it that deep? No. I mean, Jalen Duren, if you're going to be physical, and to be honest, Moussa wasn't. I can't say he wasn't doing a good job, but Jalen Duren was playing like the all-star he is. Moussa was having trouble with, especially the physicality, for other reasons as well, but also it's just an obvious physical mismatch. So if you're going to play physical Jalen Duren, you got to get ready for guys to play physical with you. So I mean that part is kind of weird, but whatever. And I like Jalen Duren as a player. As I've mentioned plenty of times on this channel, these like defensive archetypes that also could, put up the ball, and I think Jalen Duren's a good player. I think he's a good basketball player. There's time. I wouldn't say he's inconsistent. That's not true, but I feel as though, he has really, really highs and he has really, really lows where it seems like he's just kind of out there. And then like sometimes like on defense, it's just more, I could be, more physical than you, but it's not really playing good defense. But every player has their flaws. So I wouldn't even use, I like Jalen Duren like as a player. As a person, I don't know the guy. It's just like what I've seen about him is kind of like, eh. But I'm y'all know me. I don't hate or dislike really anybody. Like it's just I won't talk about you or I won't care. Like you know what I mean. So it's not like no hate toward Jalen Duren. Now I don't know. It might we hate all Detroit. But anyway, Jalen Duren's backing him down, physical, and Moussa fouls him. He looks like he's gonna go up for the shot. Moussa feels like he is out of position, and Jalen Duren has just been making these all night. So let's make him work for it. So he fouls him. Cool. They've been talking all night. This is nothing new. They've been talking all night. So then they get into it, and then the foreheads touch. Now I'm saying a lot of people talk about, well, Moussa put his forehead on him. Fine. Like I'm not gonna sit here and say he didn't or whatever. But let's not be dumb, bro. Everybody in the NBA does this all the time. This is nothing. This happens on a nightly basis. So it's just like. I'm not here for the picking and choosing. Like this literally happens almost nightly. Like come on, man. Let's not pretend that it doesn't. So then he slaps him. To me, that's where we gotta go. We got to get it popping because I'm not letting you put your hand on me. Not only your hand on me, but hit my face and then walk away. I'm saying I understand why Moussa feels the way he does. And I understand why Jalen Duren feels the way he does. If you headbutt me, like I said, it happens every night, but not everybody's going to take to it well. So just because I said it happens every night doesn't mean that everybody different is going to react the same. All I'm saying is let's not pretend that it doesn't happen almost on a nightly basis. So I understand why Moussa definitely feels the way he feels. I understand why Jalen Duren feels the way he feels. That is why we got what we got. They both have a right to me to feel the way they felt. They both felt tried by the other player. And in the NBA, those kind of players, because as Moussa's not the same size as Jalen Duren, but Moussa also at the same time we know he's an aggressive guy. He got into it with Onyeka Okongwu the other night. Was it Onyeka Okongwu? I believe so. So it's just like Moussa is that kind of guy. Like he's not gonna let anybody feel like they can punk him. I respect it. Jalen Duren, same way. I respect it. Like it's not that deep. You got two guys who are competing who both I just feel like they both have a right to feel the way they feel. Jalen Duren set it off or whatever, and Moussa felt like he had to respond. If Jalen Duren felt like Moussa set it off, he has the right to feel like he needs to respond. Like, to me, I get it. Like, I don't know there's much to it. Now I'm just going to let it play out. I ain't going to keep pausing it. So, they get into it. Moussa throws up, and Miles pushes him, but got to defend your teammate. Moussa's getting held back by like 4 people. Miles is still talking. And then Moussa escapes. And then look, he jumps. Then they going. He's getting held back. Jalen Duren's still talking. Moussa's getting held back by, look how many people Moussa's getting held back by. Jalen Duren's getting held by 1. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand. And I know I said I was going to keep pausing. I'm just going to make this quick. I don't understand why people are saying, like, oh, well, Moussa couldn't get to him. He's being held. And also, as much as I like Moussa standing up for himself and Miles Bridges standing in for him and helping his teammate, I also don't want them to necessarily fight. It's like, come on. Like, I don't want him to hit Jalen Duren in the face, and I don't want Jalen Duren to hit Moussa in the face. Like, I don't want that, but I'm just saying you have to defend yourself, or you have to, if you feel like someone's going to try you, because the way Detroit plays, and we'll talk about it later, they want you to do this. They're going to keep trying you, and if they can keep getting away with it, they will, and as they should. If the ref is not going to call it, you keep doing it. Like, that's basic sports. You don't want to be a dirty player, and I don't think they were doing anything dirty. They were just overly aggressive because they knew they could. That's a ref problem, which we'll talk about in a second. And I'm not going to pause it no more. So then they're holding him back. I don't even know where Miles went. There he is. So him and they're talking. I don't know what he said, but I got Miles heated. And then that's when freaking Isaiah Stewart comes out of nowhere over here. And they start going. Which Isaiah Stewart, I've never liked Isaiah Stewart. Before the Brandon Miller thing, after the Brand, like, I've never liked Isaiah Stewart. He just, like, I like the tough guy, because, like, you gotta think about, like, James Johnson was that kind of guy, but it's just like, bro, he's OD to me. I don't watch the guy every night. And I mean, that's kind of where it ends. Yeah, it's kind of over. But, to me, Isaiah Stewart is OD. Like, he's always just, to me, it's just a little too much. Just a little too much. Little too much. And it's like, you never really do anything. Like, it's a bunch of rumbling. But, like I said, I don't want anyone to actually hit anybody. But at the same time, he just do a lot of rumbling. Like, that's really all it is. So, yeah, I mean, that's that. Let me type this in. I should have had this pulled up. My bad, guys. But, yeah, I mean, that's kind of it. That's kind of where the fight, dies down. But, yeah, it was, I get it. I get both sides. You are not going to see, make sure it don't play. You're not going to see me sit here and say Moussa's in the wrong or Duren's in the wrong. I mean, it honestly don't matter. Once it gets to that point, it doesn't really matter, like, who's in the wrong. They both fighting. What I want to talk about, the first thing, is how this game was officiated, because why it got to that point. The Pistons were doing what from the beginning, which this has always happened, at least to us. I can't sit here and say I watch all Pistons games, and I don't like this kind of basketball, like the muddy up. And I think the Pistons are better. I don't want to say better than that, like in a moral way, but I think they're better. Like, some teams that play like that, they muddy it up because they're not the greatest. But if they can get you to slow down and just basically get tired of playing them, that's how they win. I think the Pistons don't necessarily need that. So it's an added layer that they play that way, and I think they're a good team. So, they were doing that all game. And the rest was kind of just letting it slide all game. And this happens almost every year. I feel like some of the worst officiated games I see. And also, I would say, I don't even sit here and blame the refs. I'm not going to sit here and say the refs made the Hornets lose. Like, you had LaMelo not playing well. I don't think Miles played that well before he got kicked. Moussa obviously wasn't defending Jalen Duren well. They were letting him get whatever in the paint, which that's my reasoning for, like, wanting a bigger, more agile center. Not to replace Moussa necessarily, but that would have been nice to have someone come off the bench and kind of handle those Jalen Duren minutes. Because Kaut can't do it. He's not physical enough. Moussa's physical enough. He's literally just not big enough. And I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, the Pistons were playing that literally all night long. They were getting away with illegal screens. They were getting away with pushing. They were getting away with all this stuff. Hornets would do it. It would be a foul. And I feel like that's why Charles Lee got ejected, because it was a flop. And it got called a foul when there was a play where Grant Williams got pushed by Paul Reed into the cameras, and it was a late foul call. Like, it just wasn't the physical both ways. They're allowing one team to be physical. That's always going to make the other team get upset. at some point. Now, you're going to have some teams that sit down and lay down and call it a day, which I feel like old Hornets in the past, they have done that. Like, they may yap a little bit, but I feel like teams in the past, we've seen it like, all right, we're tired. Like I said, we're tired of playing them. It's over. Like, let's just move to the next game. What I like about this team and what I really want to talk about outside of the scuffle is I like the resiliency I saw from this team. I mean, these guys, like I said, they're playing a brand of basketball that it's tough to compete against. It's extremely tough to compete against. And as I mentioned, they're better than that. Like, the Pistons are good. They can beat you because they do that, but they also can beat you because they're just talented. And it just makes it even more difficult. But the Hornets didn't give up. The Hornets kept fighting. The Hornets, I like that they tried to be physical back. It obviously wasn't working in our favor. But at the same time, just even trying and attempting. No one really gave up. Khan did his thing. I mean, LaMelo did his thing. Because there was times when LaMelo was getting thrown and pushed and all this stuff. And like, the only reason I feel like LaMelo didn't have a good game was himself. There was some shots he took that was kind of There was some things he was doing that was kind of Like, I don't know. This was an odd LaMelo game. I actually, probably now I'm thinking, I kind of want to go back and look. Also, not to mention, I think he had 5 fouls. Yeah, so it was just all over the place. And like I said, I'm not going to sit here and blame the refs because we still could have won this game. And while the refs, I think, did a horrible job, I honestly don't believe we lost because of them, but I do believe that fight is because of them. I don't think you can blame. I would blame the refs before I would blame Jalen Duren and Moussa and Miles and Beef Stew. I really would, because they let this happen. They let one team just get beat up and beat up and beat up and beat up all game. And then when one team responds and finally gets physical, it turns into a fight. Like, they did not have control of this game from the very, very, very beginning. And that part is on the refs. And that's on both sides. There was some stuff that the calls on the Hornets, I think, were physical. Like they were getting pushed and dripped and pulled and yanked and all this stuff. No foul. I think with the Pistons, it was just like small calls that you see most of the time that they weren't getting, and it wasn't like they were letting the Hornets be physical, but it was just more so like, I don't know. It just was a poorly officiated game. It was just like weird charges and things like that. Like I said, I don't think they were letting the Hornets get away with stuff the way they were the Pistons, but there were still like weird ticky-tack foul calls that didn't make sense. And I also think that there were times where they would try to stop, like, not even try to stop it, but they would call a foul and that would be like a warning foul, but come on, bro, they didn't respect the refs. Like, they didn't care. So yeah, I feel as though like our ball handlers were getting blitzed and they weren't calling it. Like, not blitzed as in like, oh, this is a strategical, way to get to box the ball handler. No, like LaMelo was getting dove on and tackled. There was a specific play like towards I think it was in the fourth quarter, maybe even late third. I can't remember. But Brandon Miller got blitzed. Paul Reed and somebody else just jumped on him. Like they literally just attacked him, and he fell down. And then they got the ball, and it became a jump ball. Grant held the ball from somebody. They got the rebound. Grant was in there, held the ball. They didn't even go to the ground, and then they called a foul on Grant. Like, it's just stuff like that. They were trying to stop it, but they were just doing it in all the wrong ways, and it felt like they were trying to stop. I don't know. I just feel like the refs as a whole for the whole game just had a weird thing. Like, I don't know. They just did not have control of this game, and I feel like that's what led to the fight. But most importantly, like I said, I learned a lot about this team, and that to me is what matters more than anything. I don't think I saw anybody shy away from the physicality, which is good. Trey Mann, he came in there trying to be Trey Mann, and I only called him out because this is something that was so blatantly obvious. Trey Mann comes in there and tries to be Trey Mann. He tries to be finesse, shaky, agile, whatever the case may be, and he got taken out at some point. And then he comes back, and he was a lot more aggressive. And it was him adjusting to, like, how this game is being played. Because when they brought in Trey Mann, I was like, bro, he's going to try to do all this dribbling shit, and it's just not going to work. Like, it's just not going to be something that can really help. Like these guys they're boxing out here, and you shake and bake and trying to be Allen Iverson. But no, I think he adjusted to it. Now, did he have a great game? Unfortunately, not really. But my point stands is that I feel as though everybody kind of adjusted to the physicality. Ryan Kalkbrenner, dealt with the physicality better than I thought he would, especially, after Moussa was gone. Sion James, I think, definitely handled the physicality well. Grant Williams, obviously doing his thing. Josh Green, man. I understand, like, you look at the stats, you might be impressed by the 5 rebounds, which I think all 5 rebounds were pretty impressive. He had like a bad foul call on him. Like he was getting hooked by Cade, and all they saw him was pulled. Like it was just weird, bro. I don't even know. Like I can't even say they were targeting the Hornets. Like I don't even know if I would go there. It was just, I truly think they were just bad officials, and that's why the game got how it was, and we still almost came away with the win. But I think LaMelo handled the physicality well for someone who, it's not that he doesn't normally handle physicality, but I think he struggled playing through it. And I think he did a good job tonight. Brandon Miller, of course, I've been thinking that he's got a little bit of psycho in his game. He's like the level, maybe 2 levels under like a true psycho basketball player, which I like. I like that. But yeah, I can see it. I don't know. I saw it, for years, of course, at this point. But I don't know. He seems like he's getting to that point where he's becoming like a psycho basketball player, which, once again, we need. I respect Moussa. I respect the hell out of Moussa for just standing up, because Jalen Duren does that. He did it to Mark Williams. He did it to Nick Richards. Mason Blunt. Like, he's just that guy. Like, that's just what he does. And we haven't had anybody to really go at him. And Moussa has been in the past and in this game. So I respect Moussa for that. It was literally just a size difference. Like there wasn't just much Moussa could do. And which is why I think you need that more aggressive big center. And honestly, Kalkbrenner, not saying I don't think he could be that. His frame doesn't seem like it could grow into more where he's like a big stocky kind of guy. And also I think that would impact his game the way he plays negatively. So I don't even know if I want that, but you need that kind of guy. So yeah, at some point you need it. Do you really need it for like what we're trying to do? No, that's why I understand it, why they didn't go get a big. But overall, you need just a bigger center. And I think they tried to say, let's go tall and see how that goes, but you need someone like extremely physical. And I think Moussa's that. He's just not 7 feet or 6'11", or 6'10". Is Jalen there? I don't know how tall Jalen there is, but he's huge. Moussa's just not that big. And I don't think his frame will allow him to get that big. Miles, he did not play well. Like I said, Miles did not play well. There was time, and I like that there was a play where Moussa kind of like tried to go up and missed, and Miles like kick it out. And every time after that, Moussa did a good job of kicking it to Miles, because Miles was open in that short corner every time. He just couldn't hit. But he stood up for his teammate. I think you need people to do what they did. I just wish, obviously, it wasn't the starters. Like, them having Beast Stew makes sense. If you're going to be a team that causes fights, teams are going to retaliate. It's perfect to have this guy. You obviously don't want Jalen Duren getting in the mix, but in general, it's perfect to have that kind of guy. Even Asar, like, he's not as aggressive as Amin, but you get the point. We don't have that. Every guy in here we need desperately. Not saying need forever or to win a game, but it's just like, it's more about after them. After them, they have Paul Reed, who, for the most part, can do what Isaiah Stewart does. With the Hornets, there is no after. Like, every single guy in our rotation, we desperately need, and if you take them out, it's more about what's after. There's nothing really after to even, meet them halfway. So, overall, I think a good game. If you would have asked me, would I rather them punk us the whole time and we kind of play like this brand of basketball where, maybe we do just hit a couple extra shots, but they just bully us all game and we win? Or would I take this before the game? Considering we won 9 in a row, because I love winning, but considering we won 9 in a row, I think I would take this. And that could be me because that's the outcome and I'm coping. I don't know. But I do feel as though I learned a lot about this team that I feel as though is going to be helpful for us. I think my camera froze, so I'll hurry up in this video. But yeah, I think I learned a lot about this team, and I'm glad for that. I'm glad that, we have guys that step up, because this is what the playoffs is going to be like. It's going to be more physical. It's going to be slowed down. It's going to get ugly. Hopefully it doesn't turn into something like this, but it's going to get ugly. This was a playoff type game, and I think the Hornets rose to the occasion. I'm not expecting them to win a playoff series this year. So the fact that you can go from what we've been in the last couple of years to you're going toe to toe with the Pistons, and with the Pistons playing their brand of basketball and we not really playing our brand of basketball, because I understand you look at the 3-point shots and we were hitting them and then we were kind of scared to go into the paint. I mean, we were a couple wide open shots. This being a completely different game. There was once again, Khan, he hasn't hit it yet, but every game, I feel like he's had this chance to hit a shot that will erupt the Spectrum Center. He couldn't hit it. He hasn't hit it yet. Brandon had a chance as well to hit another shot that would have erupted the Spectrum Center and really like made this game really too close for it. And I think the game being 110 and 104 was too close for the Pistons. But anyway, since the camera's out, I'll shut up. But I'm proud of this team, man. I hate that we lost, but I think I learned. I just gained new respect for the team. There's some basketball things, of course, we need to clean up, but this game quickly turned into less about basketball and more about how you're going to respond to a physical, playoff-ready, something to prove team. Because that's how they feel. The Pistons feel as though they have something to prove. They're playoff ready. They're talented. Yeah. How are you going to respond to that? And I think they responded well. You're not going to win all. Like this is like, the Hornets just figuring it out. This is probably the first time we played a team like this. So I'm proud of them. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section below. Peace.